You reach for a jar of coffee on a warm Tuesday afternoon. The small screen beneath the glass bottle reads $4.99. You place the jar into your shopping cart and continue down the aisle. By the time you walk up to the checkout counter 10 minutes later, the price displayed on that same shelf has quietly shifted to $5.49. This sudden jump is not a worker mistake or an old paper price tag left behind by accident. It is the instant output of electronic shelf labels working in total silence. These small digital screens are swiftly taking the place of paper tags in physical retail locations across the country. They give corporate offices the power to alter store prices across thousands of locations with a single command. Store executives market this shift as a simple upgrade that saves paper and cuts store labor. Beneath that clean public narrative lies a far more aggressive commercial engine. Corporate boardrooms are deploying dynamic pricing algorithms to reshape the physical shopping environment in real time. By watching local store demand and inventory levels, software can adjust prices hundreds of times throughout a single business day. This movement marks the arrival of algorithmic yield management creeping directly from airlines and hotels into your neighborhood grocery store. Airlines spent decades tweaking seat costs based on booking times, weather patterns, and passenger demand. Today, physical retail brands use the exact same mathematical formulas to squeeze higher revenue from everyday food items. The standard store shelf is becoming a fluctuating financial ticker. The primary drive behind these automated systems is to pinpoint and capture each customer's maximum willingness to pay. Algorithms crunch historical sales data to find the precise price threshold where a shopper hesitates but still buys the item. If unexpected rain begins outside, umbrella prices rise on the spot. When summer heat spikes, chilled bottled water grows quietly more expensive within seconds. This algorithmic control introduces a subtle form of digital price discrimination to the physical retail floor. Historically, a store tag set one clear price for every shopper who walked through the front doors. Dynamic pricing dissolves that equal standard by grouping consumers based on urgency, timing, and local demographics. Two shoppers standing in the exact same aisle can face two different financial terms for the same item. When airline yield management first appeared, travelers accepted shifting prices because plane tickets were major, deliberate purchases booked weeks in advance. Bringing that flexible pricing model into daily grocery shopping creates a very different burden for working families. Basic kitchen items are transformed from reliable staples into moving targets. Consumers end up trapped in an uneven bidding war against powerful corporate software. The data streams driving these electronic shelf labels are remarkably thorough and constant. Cameras mounted along ceiling tracks monitor foot traffic density and measure how long shoppers pause in front of specific displays. Mobile app signals beam customer locations across store floors, signaling when aisles are crowded. Every second of shopper movement supplies fresh data to pricing models seeking leverage. When the system senses a surge of afternoon foot traffic near the meat counter, it initiates automatic price increases. The listed cost of chicken breasts or fresh ground beef climbs upward by small increments during peak store hours. Later in the evening, when customer foot traffic thins out, the algorithm lowers the tags back toward baseline numbers to capture late shoppers. The psychological toll on everyday shoppers is quiet but profound. Families can no longer rely on memory or weekly grocery budgets when making routine trips to the store. The reliable reference price that allowed people to plan their monthly expenses is disappearing. In its place, consumers feel constant pressure to buy immediately, fearing that waiting 30 minutes could mean paying 10% more. Beyond capturing demand spikes, dynamic pricing algorithms give retail headquarters absolute command over store inventory. When fresh produce or dairy products near their expiration dates, systems mark down prices just enough to push stock out the door. Conversely, if supply chain delays slow down incoming deliveries, remaining shelf stock prices climb automatically to throttle demand and extract higher profits from scarce goods. The classic contract between store owner and customer rested on fixed price transparency. Paper tags created a static record that consumers could double-check against their paper receipt before leaving the building. Electronic shelf labels erase that public record entirely, making it nearly impossible for a shopper to prove what a product cost when they first pulled it from the display shelf. Many shoppers walk out of the store completely unaware that prices adjusted while they filled their carts. A customer might pick up a box of cereal marked at $3, but by the time the barcode passes the register scanner, the central server has raised the rate. Unless the buyer memorized every tag number, the silent price bump passes through without a word. The next step for this technology ties dynamic shelf prices directly to personal phone data. When shoppers connect to store Wi-Fi networks or scan loyalty programs at entry, digital shelf displays can adjust prices based on individual spending histories. A shopper who regularly buys premium organic brands might see higher prices across the entire aisle than a budget shopper walking the same route. Retail corporations invest heavily in these automated tag networks because small price adjustments produce enormous financial returns. Raising prices by just 1 or 2% across millions of daily physical store visits generates massive corporate profits without increasing operational expenses. The pricing software continually probes consumer limits, finding the exact point where price increases begin to hurt total sales volume. The heavy expense of installing electronic shelf labels and algorithmic software accelerates market consolidation across the retail sector. Dominant supermarket chains easily spend millions on digital tag infrastructure and network hardware, while small independent grocers cannot afford the technology. As major operators deploy yield management strategies, smaller local stores find themselves squeezed out of the marketplace entirely. Retail pricing has traveled a long historical arc from old fixed tags to modern dynamic algorithms. In the 19th century, fixed paper price tags brought trust and speed to shopping, eliminating endless haggling between clerks and customers. The rise of digital tags reverses that historical progress, bringing back fluid pricing while placing total control in the hands of distant corporate headquarters. Behind the clean glass of the store display, wireless transmitters send constant price updates to thousands of e-ink tags. These electronic shelf displays are carefully styled to mimic the flat, neutral look of old paper tags. That plain appearance conceals a complex, high-frequency engine operating in the background, rewriting store costs faster than any human worker ever could. This hidden control mechanism turns simple store runs into an unequal game where buyers lack basic visibility. Consumers are forced to shop inside an artificial price ecosystem shaped by corporate variables they can neither see nor verify. Every store aisle becomes a closed auction where the seller constantly adjusts the numbers in silence, leaving the buyer with no power to negotiate. Government regulators and consumer protection advocates are taking a closer look at these dynamic pricing networks across physical grocery stores. Serious questions are rising about whether rapid tag updates break consumer protection laws or lead to misleading price displays at checkout. However, holding corporate retailers accountable remains difficult when price updates happen thousands of times per day deep inside proprietary algorithmic software. As physical stores embrace dynamic tags, the everyday experience of inflation becomes unpredictable and deeply personal. Traditional economic surveys struggle to track real-time cost fluctuations occurring across millions of individual shelf tags every hour. Stable pricing gives way to a fluid environment where basic food costs shift continuously based on corporate math, changing the true cost of living from minute to minute. For major grocery corporations, the ultimate aim is total capture of consumer surplus. By stripping away fixed price tags, retail executives convert every store display into a dynamic optimization platform. The physical grocery store is no longer a simple place to buy food, but an active data engine designed to constantly test and maximize what shoppers will pay for their daily essentials. The next time you walk down a grocery aisle and look at an electronic shelf label, remember that the price displayed is not fixed. It is a live calculation built to extract the absolute highest amount you are willing to spend in that exact moment. The era of reliable store costs has ended, replaced by an invisible algorithmic system that recalculates the cost of living every single day.